Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Alan with another broadcast of the Morning Morning Digest. It's been a little bit of a break. However, I'm back. I want to say thank you to all of our new subscribers. We're going to skip all over the rigmarole today and jump right into it. And I want to talk about concepts. What is a concept? A concept is something that's not tangible. However, it's used to define and better describe the world around us. Prime example of a concept: color. Color is a concept. You're going to tell me that the shirt that I'm wearing is red. However, if you were born, right, you were taught to call this blue, would you be wrong? Not if everybody else around you is calling it blue. That is the perfect example of what a concept is, all right? Now, the subject for today's video is avoiding conceptual thinking, or at least recognizing it for what it is and using it to better understand the manipulation that's going on around you in the world. Because the more you can identify conceptual thinking, right, the more you can discern between what is tangible truth and what is nothing more than opinion or faith or belief. If something is based on conceptual thinking, it is a belief. If something is based on something that is tangible, right, it is a solid truth. Now, a prime example of this. Imagine a tribe of people, if you will, that has never had any contact with the outside world at all. I come stumbling along, right? I do a bunch of studying. I spend time with this tribe. I learn their language, their mannerisms, their culture, right? I come to the conclusion that they have no concept or conceptual thinking of what honesty is. What does this allow me to do? I can literally manipulate everybody around me in order to achieve power, to achieve control. This is why conceptual thinking is the bane of human existence. If you can't recognize it, that is. If you can recognize it, you can flip it on its head and use it against the world itself. Let's get back to the story. Imagine, if you will, I'm sitting around a fire, and their tradition in this tribe is to tell stories of the past, historical events. Now remember, there's no such thing as a lie, so everything they're telling you, they directly experienced, or they heard from somebody else who directly experienced it, because they don't have a concept of lying. Therefore, everything is just assumed to be truth. And there'd be no reason for anybody to believe otherwise, because that's all they've ever experienced. I come along, I sit down, I start telling a story about how this being created me and sent me across the world on a long journey in order to meet these people that I'm with. And this is all because I am the son of this creator, Intern, in charge of all of these people and their well-being. They're not going to think for a second what I'm telling them is dishonest. In fact, they're going to believe it. Not only believe it, they're going to act on it. Not only act on it, they're going to allow me to protect them, to have control over them, because that is what I was put here to do. Because there's no concept of dishonesty. Now, eventually, in my opinion, I believe they would start to catch on the more and more fantastical things became. If I started to stretch it, the more and more I tried to take from them, the more and more power and control that I exerted, the more and more they would question it. And as soon as somebody came to the realization that lying was a thing, I have effectively destroyed an entire culture, an entire character of a people, an entire set of moral values. That right there is why conceptual thinking is the biggest bane of human existence, and we have fallen for it time and time again as humans. Now, what is the biggest thing for me as a human being that I think has manipulated us the most? That is a concept: time. I challenge you to define time for me. I don't think you're going to be able to do it. I'm not even going to attempt to do it because I've tried and I can't. Think about this with your mind open for a minute. Have you ever experienced the past? No. Can you touch the past? No. Can you prove that the past exists? No. Have you ever experienced the future? Can you prove the future's real? No. Can you touch the future? No. Is it tangible? No. In fact, you've never experienced anything in your life except the present. Now, that right there is a prime example of time and how time is a concept. But why is this dangerous? Well, this is dangerous in my opinion because human beings have the ability, just as that tribe I was talking about, to be manipulated. How are we manipulated by time? Here's a prime example. Say you're at work. Your boss gives you a task. And it would normally take a certain period to get done, right? However, your boss decides to set an arbitrary deadline and tell you, I need this done by tomorrow when you leave work at 5 o'clock. Now, let's say it's a Friday, okay? Your boss tells you you're not leaving work till you get it done either. It might normally take you, if you're working at your pace, how you're comfortable, how you're most productive, right? Let's say it would take you till 7 o'clock that Friday night. Your boss knows if he gives you that deadline and tells you you're staying past closing time, that you're going to rush yourself. You're going to have anxiety. You're going to do what you have to do to get that done. And it's all because the concept of time was put into your head. And it manipulated you into doing it because now you're beholden to this arbitrary, non-tangible aspect of life. Right? And this has happened over and over and over again in human society. I can't even begin to list all of the concepts that we think are true, but there's no tangibility to them at all. A prime example is gravity. Can you prove gravity? Can you touch gravity? Is it tangible? And the answer to that question is no. Yet everything that we use scientifically to describe the world around us depends on gravity. Alright? And what's interesting is concepts are placed on top of concepts until things become so convoluted that you just accept these concepts as truth. Okay? What do I mean? Well, I just used gravity as an example. Gravity is a concept, right? But what is gravity? How do you derive gravity? Gravity was derived from yet another concept, which is the radius of Earth, right? And in order for you to get the radius of Earth, which is a concept in and of itself because it's mathematical, right? You had to use another concept to even do the math, which is numbers. Are numbers tangible? Can you touch a number? What is 1? What is 2? It's a concept, right? This is what I mean by concepts being the bane of human existence. The more and more you can recognize conceptual thinking and understand how it is being used to manipulate your actions, the more and more you yourself are going to be able to flip it on its head and use it to manipulate the world around you to achieve the ends that you want to achieve. And understand this, you are playing a game, right? The game of life. It's best that you understand the rules, and the rules dictate that if you can understand conceptual thinking and set that aside from tangible truth, you will very easily be able to alter your outcome in this game. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you guys being here. You have no idea how hard it is for me to make some of these videos. It took me about 8 tries to record this one. I'm going to make an effort to put more videos forward. I was having trouble, writer's block, if you will, with speaking on videos. God bless and have a great day, guys. I appreciate it. Take care of yourselves and your families. Remember, they are all you have.